Braeside, Melbourne, Victoria. And behind me here, Nissan Motorsport, a family-owned team, otherwise known as Kelly Racing. This team is the only single entity on our whole pit lane that runs 4 of its own cars. Right at the outset, the thing I'd say about this place is the facility is highly impressive. This is 4,500 square metres. To give you some perspective, your typical single car carport, this is about 300 of those. So straight up, let's start at what I'd call the brain of the body, the engineering trust. This is where the smarts happen in this room. Now, it's kind of like a library in here. It's really, really quiet. I don't want to disturb them too much. It's about 10 guys based in here in what, again, is probably the biggest engineering room in the country. We know the magic number's somewhere around $3.5 million per car in the modern game. And with some efficiencies in running 4 cars, I'd suggest they'd be spending somewhere between, $11, $12, $13 million to run this operation. The workshop area, or what I'd call the action station. This is where it really all happens. But even when you look here, just the sheer volume and space, it just feels great. Over there behind me, electronics room, a shock absorber room I see, a sub-assembly room, a crack testing room. So the bits come off the car and most of them go down to that area of the business to be pulled apart, serviced, repaired, whatever, before they're put back on the car here. This whole room here is a nut and bolt room. Seriously, that is boy's own dream. And I know I'm going to go home now and have an argument with my missus because I reckon we should ditch the walk-in wardrobe. What a waste of space. Who wouldn't want one of those? I know I do. The engine shop, very impressive as you would expect. Now, this is obviously a totally clean room. These guys have around 10 engines in their cycle. Now, typically a supercar engine is around about $100,000, $120,000 just for the parts. Here, these are the intake manifolds. These are drawn on their computers down there, designed and machined here in-house out of a chunk of aluminium. There's about 3 or 4 guys typically in the engine shop, another 3 or 4 here in sub-assembly. Now, this is the biggest sub-assemblies. This is where they do things like our transaxle, our Albin's transaxle, which is our gearbox and diff, remember, built into one. So they come in here, nice clean room, they can pull them apart. Here we go. There's the complete internals of one transaxle right there. We came in the front of the building there, that's where they were working on those 4 race cars. We've now been in this building here behind me, which is where the engine room fabrication shop was, and we've got another building to go with 3 more areas of activity. This is paint, panel and composite. So right there, a spray booth that would probably be the envy of most road car paint shops, very nice. This is where they do the composites, which is there's Nomex right there, there's a fiberglass, they have carbon fibre in there to make a lot of the panels on the car. Now in here, I'd suggest they've probably spent, I don't know, I look around in the order of $2 million, I'd say, in just machinery. And all this stuff in here is made out of big chunks. Here we are, look, here's some stock coming in here. Just made out of big solid chunks of really high-grade aluminium. Now, just when you think there's no more, right on cue, there's more. I can tell you, this team has the biggest, best-in-class signage facility of any race team in the country. When they change the whole colour of the car, these are what are called car wraps. So they're cut out in the size of the car panels so they can change the colours of the car. Look at this, 3D printing down here. Now, I just noticed this. There's a lot of things in my life I want. I can tell you, a 3D print of Rick Kelly is not one of them. This is a 3D printing machine. You hear a lot about it. There's one in action. Here's the sort of stuff they can make. They can churn these actual parts out. That goes on the window and where the carbon scrubber that goes into the driver's helmet goes. That is printed on that machine. You would have to agree, this is a mightily impressive facility. But you know, the facility alone doesn't buy you lap speed. It doesn't give you race success. There's many other aspects that do that. But what this facility has allowed this team is to develop this Nissan Altima over the last couple of years and to do it time and time again until they've got it up to speed. What I would love to see now, though, is to use this magnificent resource to transpose that into race results.